bullish, ETP 1.
So you wanted to see a trade in action? Well, let's get to it. So let's just get organized first. At the top, we have our market analyzer with our scanner, which essentially will do all the laborious hard work of finding all the patterns. You can put in there whatever instruments you want. Below that, we have a nice big chart. Now we see an upcoming pattern coming out on the ES, so we're going to record it. Then we're going to play it out with you and see how it goes.
Bullish, ETP 1.
So a few things just happened. The first is a pop-up box came up and it told us that we had a new pattern. You also heard the audio alert at the same time, and you'll now see that the market analyzer shows us that there's a bullish ETP1 pattern underneath the 15-minute column for the ES. Now, of course, the most obvious thing is the pattern was automatically drawn in for us, and we're now aware of the fact that there's a pattern on the chart. One final thing to point out is that the pattern will be alerted to you as soon as all the ratios match up. Now, there's good reason for that. One, many of these patterns, if you're looking at potential pattern setups, just don't work out. And two, we can actually calculate how much time this pattern will take on average for us to actually see that reversal happen, as well as even a target to be hit. Now, that's just an average based off previous patterns, but it is something that can give us a guideline. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is draw in our 2-to-1 risk versus reward, which will also help me place my stops and targets. And then I'm going to go back and look to see if we have any support that lines up with this particular pattern's reversal area. Now you'll notice that our X to egg leg is white and not blue like the other legs. That's important. We'll go into that another time in our members area, but you'll see here that our targets now for either putting in our targets at pattern points or fib ratios or even a ratio based off your stop, it can all be controlled. So for example, as a fib ratio, we can come into the settings and you're only going to have to do this once. If you want to change them, you can actually configure your targets, the color, the style, anything that you would want to do, you can do that here. And then once you save it, you've done it once, you don't have to repeat it and do it again. So every time the software draws in the pattern, all your targets and everything is there lined up ready for you. Now, I was saying earlier there's 3 different ways to put in targets. So what I'm going to do is outline my stop in red. My entry will be there in the middle around that 2631 area. And then you're going to see different sets of targets. We're already going to have the ratios mapped out by that position tool, but we're going to add in the pattern point targets as well as the ratio targets depending on how you specifically take your targets. So you can all map them in different ways, but as the trade works out, I want you to see which targets get hit. Now, there are a few other indicators I use to help me weight my trades. One of them is going to be Sonar, which we're just going to attach to the chart. Sonar actually will project into the future. I don't think there's any other indicators in your platform that does that, but will show us frequency waves in the market. And the other indicator that we're going to use for that analysis is going to be the Hurst, which shows us how much anti-persistence is in the market. So we'll teach you more about those indicators in the membership, but that's essentially what we use to help us weight our trades. Now we're just going to let this play out. So I'm going to wrap up the video here, but you can see that there's quite a bit that we didn't talk about. There was no particular trade management here. We didn't speak about how we weight our trades or qualifying the pattern, or what the white leg means in that X to A leg, and what you should be doing about it when you see it. But that wasn't the point. What I wanted to show you is how the software alerts you to a pattern and does all that hard work for you. And then with some analysis, you can be mapping out your own trade plans where everything is consistent with your approach, right? There's so much more that you can do with the patterns, as you can probably tell, and it's not all that complicated. You just have to know how to do it. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Otherwise, I hope this gives you an idea of how things work, in the market with our pattern tools. And if you think it's pretty cool and you want more videos, feel free to slap that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for our next video. Sorry, just one last thing. You'll see that there's two indicators that we give out for free, and you can totally get them if you want from XABCDtrading.com. One of them is a Priceline indicator, which you can see going across the screen. And then the other one, which are those vertical lines, that's actually our news indicator. You can see as you click on the line, you can actually get the news events. This is our pro version. We have a free version and a paid one if you want some additional features like audio alerts and notifications before news events come out. But you can see here that it's extremely useful. It loads up the event for the following week on Sunday, so you can get all the current week's news events right on your chart. So have fun playing with that. Again, XABCDtrading.com.